next Saturday, I'm doing a special event, very dear to my heart, and it will be followed by an 8-week training. But I would like to share a little story first to introduce this event that I'm going to do. So about 31 years ago in Romania, I was a teenager and I was mysteriously interested in spiritual literature, in yogic traditions, in seeking enlightenment, Qigong, Tibetan teachings and all of that. And I encountered Osho, and I had a phase of about 1 year of studying, reading Osho. And anyway, and Osho was mentioning at some point and speaking very highly of what he called the fourth way teachings, Gurdjieff, George Ivanovich Gurdjieff, and Ouspensky. So he was speaking highly of it, and somehow for some strange reason that kind of hit me in my heart, so to say, and I felt like, yes, I need to find this teaching. So somehow I was lucky. It was right after the communist regime went down and there was some democracy and input of Western stuff, and anyway there was less censorship. So I have found the teachings of Gurdjieff and Ouspensky in the form of this book, In Search of the Miraculous, Fragments from an Unknown Teaching by Peter Ouspensky. And I loved it. I just loved it. It just seemed so true, and it was so profound, and it was so so much more clear and precise and practical than all the stuff I have been researching and studying. Anyway, so I have embarked on a spiritual journey to study and apply and live the teachings of the fourth way tradition. Yeah, so that's why I'm here in the United States. That's why I am talking to you now on this YouTube channel, because of this teaching came to me. So I stay with this teaching, and I found some spiritual community that was focused on applying, studying, embodying those teachings, and I was part of that for about 13 years, being around a number of countries in that community. At some point I left that community, not because of the teachings themselves or because of the work, but because other reasons connected to people and people's egos. And anyway, and I went on studying Zen, Vipassana, teachings of Non-Duality, the teachings of David Hawkins, Adyashanti, Thich Nhat Hanh. Then I discovered good psychological modalities. I studied psycho-somatic processing, Hakomi, Killer inquiries. I went on, I continued, I became a therapist, shadow work, somatic shadow work. Anyway, so I just explored and continued. However, the more I have explored, and in spite of the fact that I left that community focusing on the fourth way teachings, the more I studied other things, the more I found out that all the tenets, all the principles of the fourth way that I studied, they kept proving to be true. And the more teachings I studied, the more I realized that the initial framework, the map of this spiritual journey up the mountain to conscious realization of God, or to truth, or to self-realization. So the more I studied all these teachings, the more I verified that the fourth way teaching proved to be true and also highly practical. So somehow, although I initially abandoned this fourth way teaching and I went in a whole other direction, somehow I couldn't, and it kept activating itself. And it took me many years of chewing on it, applying it, integrating, and I find now that the fourth way teachings is introduced by Gurdjieff more than maybe 120 years ago in the West, in Russia. And as it was taught by Peter Ouspensky, Maurice Nicoll, Jean de Salzman, Rodney Collin, and many others, some great teachers of the fourth way. I can say now, looking back, that this has been my closest, my most practical, my most favorite to my heart spiritual teaching that I'm still studying, applying, and living today. Also, as I have been working with clients, many of them, they were not really interested in spiritual awakening or such things. They were just interested to feel better, to get more stable, to be less tortured. So I was very surprised when I started to work with clients years ago that I was thinking, how can I help them besides, talking and processing? So I felt like I need to give them something. I need to teach them how to fish, so they don't just come to me to catch fish for them, but I need to teach them how to fish. I need to teach them how to do skillful work on themselves, how to work on inner development, becoming more conscious, sorting illusions in oneself. And I found out over and over that I will have all of these fourth way tools or fourth way exercises, fourth way alarm clocks that will come to me as being very practical to my clients. So for a long time, I would continue doing my work in the world using a mixture of teachings and practices and philosophies, but I wouldn't talk necessarily about the fourth way because it seemed like it's a little bit too complex, too comprehensive. But for maybe last 4 years or so, I realized that actually it's very helpful. It's very helpful for the modern man. It's very helpful. And in order to be more true to what I'm doing and what I'm working with people, to be honest, I need to be more straightforward with this. I really recommend the teachings of the fourth way as a practical map, as a foundational map of navigating the territory of inner healing, inner development, transmuting our suffering, finding conscious harmony, finding our purpose, finding God, finding ourselves. So on this journey that many of us are, many people come to me are on this journey, whether they are aware of it or not. So on this journey, I find the fourth way map as being very, very ideal for developing certain understanding of what the beginning of the path is, what are the dangers, what is the trail, what is I need to do, to be, that has a clear, practical, no bullshit, no Sanskrit terms, no Chinese terms, which is fine, I love Sanskrit term and Chinese terms, but this is a path to help evolve, change your level of consciousness, a path of inner development that doesn't lead to bypassing, that brings inner harmony in between the mind, the intellect, the emotional, the instinctive, the animal, the sexual. So it's a path that it's gradual and it's stable and can be verified, doesn't need beliefs, doesn't need faith, just needs to be open and to study certain things and try to apply it, and then you verify it. So so next Saturday I'm going to do a 3-hour lecture on the teachings and practices of the fourth way. It will be in Nevada City, but it will be online, in Nevada City, California, but it will be online on Zoom as well, and I will do it at a certain time that is suitable for people in Europe. So this will be, so to say, a 3-hour pilot, so to say. And then, for those who are interested and resonate with this, I will do a 8-week course every Saturday in the morning, both in person as well as online. at a certain time which is suitable for people in Europe or other time zones, where I'm going to teach, as well as it's a very experiential path. There will be homework, there are very clear practices. So I'm inviting you to this. I don't necessarily want to, in this video, to explain a lot of the tenets of the fourth way. But see here, there is a video where I put that says a synopsis of the fourth way path. That's where I make an attempt to explain briefly some of the core teachings. And yeah, if you are interested, join me. If you are somehow resonating with the stuff that I'm putting here on Circle of Being Somatic Shadow Work, or if you've been following me and somehow you find it interesting or inspiring, and you are seeing me as, like therapist, somatic psychotherapist, or you know me from like psychedelic integration or non-duality, or killer bee inquiries, or various other versatile things I'm doing, I want you to know that the fourth way teaching is the closest to my spiritual heart, and it's the foundation on which everything was filled in. And I find it that for anybody interested, they are dealing with suffering, you are interested in evolving, you are interested in working on yourself, improving yourself, optimizing yourself, transcending yourself, waking up to your true self, whatever we call it, I recommend for you the fourth way teaching as very practical for a modern day busy man or woman with kids, with families, with responsibilities. It's a path to be done in the world. It doesn't require renunciation, going to an ashram. And yeah, so this is my invitation to you to check it out. I will put a few more videos soon, short videos explaining some of the core tenets. And I hope to see you there. See information below how to sign up. And also, if you want to understand more about the fourth way path or read more in depth on my website, Circle of Being Somatic Shadow Work.com, I have there about Mihai, about the fourth way. That's a nice, long, juicy description. There will be the video here, synopsis of the fourth way path. The three books that I recommend the most for people interested, I would say In Search of the Miraculous by Peter Ouspensky. Sometimes it's also known as In Search of the Miraculous, Fragments of an Unknown Teaching. This, if somebody asks me, hey Mihai, what is your most favorite book? Your one recommended book from all the books that you have read ever? This is what I would recommend, In Search of the Miraculous. There's a smaller book, very good introductory. It's a genius book, very simple, that was put down over almost 100 years ago, that still holds its ground. It's called The Psychology of Man's Possible Evolution. Psychology of Man's Possible Evolution by Peter Ouspensky. Ouspensky was the foremost, very important, essential disciple of Gurdjieff, and due to his brilliant mind and his commitment to the teaching, that's why the fourth way is still quite known in the West. So that's what I recommend. And also here below, for those who somehow want to go more in depth, there is a playlist called Reigniting the Fragments of the Fourth Way, where Mihai and Peter Engel, who is an old friend of mine, a very wise, very conscious, very wonderful human being, a spiritual teacher and author. We are talking, we have a playlist talking and expounding and sharing some of the core teachings, principles, tenets of the fourth way. In this playlist, there are over 40 videos. So And it's all about becoming more conscious, becoming more aware, observing what's happening in the inner psychology, in the somatic structure, in the body. Become aware, see that actually we are quite asleep and things are not going well. So before we can shift the situation towards waking up and living according to the truth, we need to wake up to the fact that there is this spiritual sleep. And in this sleep, there's all kind of dysfunction, all kind of sufferings, and life is hard. But there is a way out. Join me.